So welcome back. Now that we've unwrapped all of the pieces that are going to require no mirroring and such to save time, we're going to start doing now the pieces that require mirrored. So those are going to be the more complex ones. So let's go ahead and take the most hardest one first, and that's going to be this leg right here. We're going to do Alt-H or Shift-H to isolate it. And then again, if you go down to material properties, and then right here, you assign that. It's good. So first and foremost, before we start, let's go ahead and do the pieces that are for the most part already done for me. So that's going to be all of the cylindrical elements in the mesh. So the first and foremost, the one we're going to start out with is this one right here. And if I go to edit mode and press L, hover over it, I can see it's going to pop up here. And I'm going to take this one right here, shift it to the side. And as you can see, it's a little bit squashed and such. So you're going to have to go ahead, if you start scaling it on the red axis right here, it starts to fix it. So you need to figure out what is your best direction you need to do to scale it. And now that that's scaled, I'm going to take this and put it to the side, because that has a good unwrap. And then we're going to do the same for this section right here. L, select that, put it to the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And these vertices right here are going to be the ones that I'm going to have to drag out a little bit. And as you can see now, those distortions are starting to go away. And just like the previous piece, the cap is a different scale in relation proportion to the base, the sides of the cylinder. So I will go into face mode, select these caps right here. Zoom in to make sure I can see both, and then start to uniform scale these so proportionally they have the sort of the same scale as the sides of the cylinder. That's nice, cool. Maybe a little bit more. And then now that I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and take this piece, move it to the side, and take this piece and also move it to the side. Cool. So now that that's done, we have one more cylindrical element. It's going to be this one right here. So if I press L, I select this one, take it, separate it from the center right here, and it's going to be the same stretching issue. So you're going to go take this and non-uniform scale this on the x-axis, and as you can see, is not quite scaling evenly throughout all of it. So now you're going to have to select individual vertices to scale it to make sure that it's proportional. So I will go ahead and start with this one right here. Let's see. To go to vertex mode and start pulling this one. As you can see now, it's proportionally starting to scale correctly how it should be. I'm going to take this one up ahead, scale that one also. And I believe, let's see, this center section, if I take this one, no, I have to select a little bit more. Up to here, I believe. And as you can see now, those distortions have started to go away. So I believe one of them has a little bit of more distortion than the other one. So let's see, I believe it's this one right here on this one. And let's say for parity, we'll do the same for this one. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and take the whole element itself, and I'm going to scale it so it sort of matches the proportion of the other ones more or less. Good enough. Take it and put it to the side here. And after we're done, we're going to go ahead and scale this whole thing so it kind of works on all pieces. So now that I've done all the pieces that are already done for me, I'm going to start doing the pieces that, of course, that haven't been done for me. So to do that, let's go ahead and start with, I always like to work with the biggest pieces, so I'll go ahead and do the same. So I will go ahead and hit L to select the rest of this, and I'm going to go ahead and take all of this and separate it to the side because that's what I'm going to be working with. And then I'm going to go ahead and start to work this piece right here. Select all of the elements. And I'm going to do the same for the corresponding one in the back because it has the same shape, although it's not the same cut in the mesh, but it's still going to unwrap evenly. So once I've done this, good, both of them selected, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in this screen and hit U and push this to the side. And if you want to go ahead and see the rest of the other stuff while you're working with it, you just go ahead and hover it, hit L and L and L. So now all of this, of course, comes back. And then these two right here you take. And as you can see, these have a scale that's probably closer to the other pieces. So I'm going to take this and separate it to the side, and I'm going to use these big pieces as the sort of the starting point of what I'm going to scale all the other ones. So I'm going to select the ones that I already worked on here, and then I'm going to start to scale those again. And you're probably at some point you're probably not going to need this video to finish this assignment, because as you can see, it's the same kind of tedium. So as you can see now, I scaled those pieces and they are by eye more or less how they should look. That's good. And then let's go ahead and start finding some of the other ones that I'm going to separate and unwrap those as well. So let's see. Then the next one that makes sense to me, and I always like to go by pieces that are symmetrical, so I'll select those faces. Let's go ahead and undo that undo. Oh, that's weird. I thought I selected all of this. L. Cool. So cool. No, okay. Well, anyway. Select these faces and these faces, and then zoom here, hit U for unwrap, and separate it to the bottom. And I like to be meticulous when I work in this and scale as I work, so I'm going to take this one right here, scale it so it matches proportion to the sides, and then hit L over the rest so I can see, and then start arranging them so I have nice I don't have a mess all over the place and such. So now that little piece is done right there. So I'm going to go ahead and take these right here in the front, at least the ones that makes, you know what, I can do it as one whole piece. So I'm going to go ahead, select all of this that's facing in that same forward direction. It's not too shabby. This works for me. So here, and then U, it's been unwrapped. Lower it to the bottom here, and then again start to, as you unwrap, start to put it all together into one nice little package and such. So it's here to the side, and as you can see, the scale's a little bit off on this one again compared to the other one. So again, scale, good, right place, and what else? Now we're going to go ahead and do this top element right here, cylindrical one, select all these ones. And as you can see, it's already done for you, so once it's already done for you, you're going to go ahead and select all of it. Well, you know what, they're not unified together, so maybe can find a way to unify these so it's just one mesh, unless it's a mess. So once I have all these, then I'm going to go right here, select the edge, Alt V, Alt V, and must be the other one, Alt V, boom. As you can see, now it's one element now that I've stitched it together. And then again, I'm gonna scale it on the x-axis, so you start to clear some of these distortions. Sounds good. And then we're gonna take these two right here, and we're gonna stitch it. We're gonna unwrap them and stitch it to this top part. So right here and here. Hit U, unwrap, cool. Take them, move it to the side. And now you're going to select these meshes right here, or these faces right here, so you can do the stitching so it works correctly. Good, that's done. So you can see there's a discrepancy between the sizes, so I'm going to go ahead and take this and rotate it on here, because I want to scale it so the connection points are the same to where they're going to be stitched together. And then scale it. And kind of move it besides the mesh so you can kind of have an idea of if connecting points are kind of have the same proportions. Move it up here. Cool. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and go to edge mode and select this edge right here. Alt V. Yes, that's good. And then Alt V. Good. Nice. No mirroring issues. Proportions are okay. So once I've done that and I have all this selected, then I'm just going to again do L in this view. Make sure I select all the elements so I can see what I'm doing. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. And then this one. Let's see. Oh, I swear to God, sometimes I go crazy with the selection mode in a Blender. Separate this to the side and move it to where the rest of the other meshes are, just to have again that nice little box shape that you're trying to aim for. Because in the end, when you're going to have to get all these elements into a box shape, as you can see there, let's see what kind of, it's a slight difference in scale, so I'm going to take this element and scale it up so it sort of more or less lines up with the rest of these. Good enough. Let's see. And then what's left? Now we have these two elements to the side here that we're going to have to sort out. So I'm going to go select this one, and this one, and this one, and then again, U. Separate these to the side. And now I'm going to rotate it so these sort of share the same kind of rotation on the screen as the others. It's the other corresponding piece. Let's see. So by this point, you're probably tired of hearing my voice and tired of seeing this tedious work, but that's how it is. So now that that's that, as you can see, we can just look here to see how the scale is in relation to the other one. So I will go and start to scale this a little bit. Good enough. And then again, in the modeling screen, L, 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 and L. And then you take this element here, push it to the side here, again making a nice little square shape. And as you can see, one of the elements is not quite, the scale is off on this little connection piece, so let's go ahead and find that and scale it up so it fits with the rest of it. So it's this one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and start scaling this upwards. Let's see, a little bit more. Cool. And reposition it, of course. You really don't want overlapping UVs. So a lot of this UV stuff is going to be scaling, stitching, moving, and then getting it all together into one place and such so it could all fit within the same UV space. So now that one's out of the way, we have to do the rest of it and such. So in this occasion, now we have this element right here. And shift, shift, shift. And I think I'll do it like this, then I'll get the corresponding one on this side. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit L or U for unwrap. Go find my pieces right here. take these and again scale them in relative size to the other pieces. Cool. And you don't necessarily have to do this rotation. Sometimes you can rotate it however you like and position it how you like. Depends on how you texture it, because if you texture this in 3D Studio Max or in Photoshop, for example, and you need to be able to see what you're working, sometimes it's best to have the corresponding pieces mirrored in the same orientation so you can find them easily. But in Substance Painter, since it does a lot of the work for you and you don't have to think of it like that, then it really doesn't matter the orientation that you put these. So now that I have these scaled into the right proportion, again, TDM, LLL, select everything. L, cool, and move and adjust. So like I said, when you do this, or at least when you do it for the first time, of course you're going to be following me on the tutorial, but as you do this, make sure to have something entertaining, because this is such annoying. This is probably one of the worst things 3D artists hate to do, is either unwrapping or skinning and rigging, and you'll find that out in your career as you start to deal with some of these annoying processes. So let's see, we have that, that's good. And then let's go ahead and take these elements right here, Duke, you unwrap, take them, separate it downwards. See, there's some separation already, it's good. And then scaling, uniform scaling, so they have kind of more or less match the other ones. Scale it down, good enough. And then I like again, LLL. And I'm doing like this so I don't have to go ahead and mess with overlapping UVs when I get it all into one box. So this is a little bit of a tedious process, at least this part, but at least when it comes to the end, I won't have to go and rearrange all of these in a way that I don't like. So as you can see here, I probably have some space here perhaps where this might work. That's another way of using these elements intelligently, is sometimes finding a way to put them in little nooks and crannies and places where you can fit the UV. So I'm going to take this one right here, put it in there, and take this one right here, put it right here. You know what, for the sake that this video could all of a sudden screw up or something, I'm going to go ahead and put a stop to this one, and we'll continue unwrapping this piece in the next video.